Hello Internet, welcome to something new. We're going to be playing Cards, which is a World War II collectible card game available for free on Steam. This was recommended to me a few weeks ago by someone in the Cataclysm Discord. I can't remember who it was. If it's the person I'm thinking of, their name is impossible to pronounce anyway, so sorry if you don't get more credit. But we're going to be checking it out. It is a free-to-play World War II card game. I have a real fascination with card games. It's something that I frequently come back to throughout my life. I've played just about every type of card game that you can think of. I have played. I'm a big fan, and we're going to be checking it out. So I also saw Northern Lion review this probably a couple weeks ago. I watched him yesterday play this a bit, and it looked like fun. So we have launched into the tutorial. This is the skirmish. Welcome to Cards. Attack and destroy the German headquarters at Arnhem before the enemy reinforcements arrive. Okay, the enemy starts the game. Seems a little unfair, to be honest. Enemy infantry spotted. The enemy has just deployed a unit to the battlefield. Let's hope you draw a good card. Your turn, okay? We didn't start with any cards for some reason. Baby's first infantry unit. 506th is an infantry unit. Infantry units can either move or attack each turn. Start by deploying it into your support line. Drag and drop the card on either side of your headquarters. Yeah, so I want to be real clear. You don't need to know anything about history to play this game, really. It's just, from what I saw, infantry, tanks, and Air Force. So it's not like it's super complicated. Okay. A lot of information I don't really know the meaning of. So we'll deploy to our supply line or whatever. What did he call it? Support line. Support line. Okay. So we end our turn. I assume these are attack and defense numbers. Front line taken by the enemy. The enemy captured the front line and is now in position to attack your HQ. Attack the enemy unit and halt the German advance. So they moved up. So we attack from the midline. We've drawn the 12th Infantry Regiment. Not a regime. Probably shouldn't use regime. So we attack our 2-2. Yeah, so that is attack and defense. Oh, it says literally right here, attack and defense. But we can't move them again because they can only move or attack. Looks like the front line is actually shared between both of us. So like the midsection is something we will fight over, which makes sense as the front line. Infantry will deploy another infantry unit. I don't know how many we can have out at once. I guess we'll find out eventually. Oh, also worth noting, I'm recording in a different manner than I normally do, so if the sound is a bit wonky, that's something we'll have to hammer out. I don't know how much of this game we're going to play, but I thought we'd at least run through the tutorial, play a little of the AI, that kind of thing, and see how we feel about it. The front line has been cleared of enemy units. Advance your units and get into position to attack the enemy HQ. Well, if we move... it wants us to move both, and we can still deploy the 121st. This guy's going to get killed next turn because he's going to attack and kill him, would be my assumption. We'll deploy a 3rd infantry unit. I do like the art. Is there a way to zoom in on the art? Doesn't look like it. Okay. I mean, it's neat. It reminds me of propaganda stuff from World War II, when they would always have those square-jawed, Americans on the front line kind of thing. You've drawn your first order. An order card can be played, can use only once and then is removed from play. Use it wisely. Deal 2 damage to a target in the enemy support line. So we could attack their HQ. How many? I can't see with the arrow. Go ahead and attack. Oh yeah, so we can kill the enemy HQ because it's in their support line. Oh, that's a cool animation. Showed a strafe there. Hello, Rosie. How are you? Congratulations. Click continue to start the next tutorial. Okay. Credits with a K. This is also, yes, Cards with a K. They took their indication from Mortal Kombat, I guess. Playing a card from your hand costs credits. You also pay credits when your units move or attack. Okay. So like Hearthstone, I guess. Yeah, you get 1 per turn would be my assumption. Deploying him, okay, yes, in the upper left corner, 1 credit to deploy this, and I'm assuming that also reflects their movement cost. So we'll deploy the 506th. I mean, that art looks cool. I like it. It's, again, reminiscent of, like, propaganda from World War II. I just remember we talked about World War II in high school. Credits are the resource that you use to play cards and operate units. The cost of each card is displayed in the upper left. Yes, we discovered that already. In high school, I actually... Oh, so we don't have the money for him. So we'll advance to the front line, our unit here. Can you attack? No, they can only move or attack. They can't do both. So this, unfortunately, 1 credit will go to waste. I don't know if that will add to our total next turn or something like that. I kind of doubt it. That's not normally how these things work. Yeah, in high school, I had a history teacher. You now have enough credits to attack the enemy with the 506th or deploy another unit. You cannot do both. So, how strong are you guys? 4 4s? Yeah. Because if he wants to advance, he's going to have to attack, which will kill him anyway. I'm torn between getting damage on the enemy HQ, which is... I play... So if you don't know, because we've never played Magic on the channel or anything like that, I play aggro all the time, no matter what game I'm playing. So my instinct is to get damage on the HQ as much as possible, as quickly as possible. But we're going to play a little defensive. We'll just deploy these boys. I'm really hoping... Oh, I see. So it changed the cost once it was deployed. So it's not 3 and... Oh, it has a little number next to it. So you'll see in the upper left corner of this card, it says 1 and 1. This one says 3 and 1. So the big number is the deployment cost, and the little number is the cost to move or attack. So once it was deployed, it reduced its cost to 1. I was worried that we would have to spend 3 every turn to move this unit. So, yeah. Anyway, I had a history teacher in high school who was this incredibly well-known man in the academic community. What? Airstrikes, man. You've drawn your first tank unit. Man, it's hard to talk while I'm getting lots of tutorials, huh? Tank units can both move and attack on the same turn. So if we deploy him, we can... We can deploy him, attack, move this guy up so we can get 4 damage on the HQ next turn. Units need to get ready. They can't move or attack the turn they come into play. Well, now this guy took some damage. Okay. And then we can't move into the front line. That is disappointing. I probably should have played that differently. Yeah, history teacher was well known in academia. He's a pretty famous guy. When he gave our graduation speech, they read just thing after thing of his degrees and accomplishments and publications and stuff. And he absolutely loved World War II propaganda. He thought it was very fascinating. Give a ground unit +1/+2. I mean, that seems like a prime... No. Well, okay. So we're going to move him up and attack. We're going to move him forward as well. And then we can deploy... We can play all of our cards this turn. I'm uncertain of who should get this. If we do 5 on you, next turn we're guaranteed to win. Unless they can kill a 5, which I highly doubt. So we'll advance, we'll attack. Oh, we can't play every card this turn because moving him up will cost us a move. But we have victory next turn unless they can kill this unit, which seems unlikely. And he was also worked closely with the psych and social department, so he had a real fascination with manipulating a populace. So, you know, he often talked very frankly. Like a lot of people, if you ask about World War II propaganda, they will say things like, well, America really didn't do that. America didn't really participate, which is a crock, frankly, because America had tons of propaganda. You know, some are very famous, like loose lips sink ships, which I think was like when was the Lusitania? Was that World War I or World War II? I don't really remember. But regardless, there was propaganda. Here we have an excellent example. Rosie the Riveter is a simple way of making people who were essentially forced to work in factories to survive during World War II, made them feel like it was their obligation. It depicted a strong, potent woman who was taking care of things back at home while the men were at war. It's just very interesting. Propaganda is very, very interesting. Get ready for the next phase. Okay, another tutorial. You've completed the basic tutorial. Select a starting nation and unlock the starter decks of all the other nations by defeating them in battle against AI. So, Soviet Union, Germany, Britain, US, Japan. Well, they left Italy out, probably because Italy was not really aware of what it was doing, and where Mussolini didn't know what he was doing. He just wanted Hitler to like him. So, I mean, my instinct is to go, my God, look at this Uncle Sam garbage as well. My instinct is to go US, of course, because I am from the United States. We like to think we did everything in World War II. I'm curious about... let's go Soviet Union. Why not? I mean, instinct is to go Germany. So this game, like I said, is broken down into infantry, tanks, and air units. I don't believe there are ship units. There are artillery units, but I think they're treated as... It depends. It's either tank or infantry. I don't think there are naval units in the game. Surely there must be, because Japan would be a very... maybe they just have a lot of air force, but like... Japan was a very much a naval military. So like Soviet Union, obviously tons of infantry. Germany would be tank focused. Britain would be air force, which is what we're seeing here in these images as well. USA, you know, your brain goes right to paratroopers, but we had a lot of guys on the ground, some tanks and stuff as well. I mean, obviously, like Britain wasn't just, you know, planes. There were infantry units deployed, commandos and tanks and things as well. Same with Russia. It's not like, or Soviet Union, it's not like they didn't have any tanks or anything. It's just when your brain goes to it, you know, think like Hoi 4 or whatever, you're going infantry, tanks, Air Force, paratroopers, and then naval for Japan. So I'm curious if there are naval units. But anyway, let's just go Soviet Union. At the outbreak of the war, although large on paper, the forces of the Soviet Union were poorly equipped, trained, and organized. This would change fast. Forged through fire and blood during the Great Patriotic War, the Red Army would soon become an unstoppable war machine. Fueled by their seemingly endless manpower and natural resources, the Soviets slowly but surely drove their enemies out of Mother Russia and into enemy territory. This is cool, some of these images. We'll confirm. Oh, select defeat a nation to unlock its starter deck. Well, like I said, I'm curious about Japan, so let's fight Japan. Click a deck to select. Soviet Union. It's one of those things people like. I don't know. I'm an American. I grew up learning about World War II and hearing from people who fought in many conflicts around the world over the years. You know, Korea, Vietnam, etc. Mulligan stage takes place at the start of each battle. Get the option to redraw your starting hand. Select cards you wish to discard. They will be replaced with random cards from your deck. Do 1 damage to a unit and your HQ. Well, that sounds terrible. Guard. I don't know what guard does. Deployment. Deal 3 damage to your own HQ. So the Soviets seem to be a self-destructive force. Let's get rid of... These are expensive. These are turn 2 and turn 3 cards. Let's get rid of both of these. It's okay if we can't do anything on turn 1. I would like to be aggro, but like these are not good units. These are not good for us. They don't put a unit on the force. These are those order cards. So let's dump those. And we did get a 1-cost card. Blitz. You have just drawn a card called the 321st Rifle Regiment, which has the Blitz ability. The unit can operate the same turn. So haste from Magic the Gathering. Looks like they get to play first again. A little unfair that they get to play first every time. Do they? Maybe we went first the second tutorial. I don't remember. What is this? The Himeji Regiment. Is that like a discard pile? Naval Brigade. 3-in-1. Rifle Regiment with Blitz. Add a 1-1 light infantry. So when it dies, it will dump a 1-1 light infantry on the back line. It's interesting. 3-in-1. I just don't like 3-1s. They've also deployed a 3-1. Let's hold you here. And we'll just, yeah. So, like, I grew up surrounded by American military personnel. You know, my mentor was so several people in my inner circle, let's say, were special forces over the years. My mentor actually worked at the White House for a period of time after coming out of military service. So I've met my fair share of patriots. This costs 0 to move. That's pretty cool. I'm not loving our units, though. I don't want to push you forward because you will just get eaten by the tank. I don't want to push you forward because, again, these both can just destroy you. Let's chill out and build our line a little bit. So I grew up with patriots who basically felt like America could do no wrong. And like we were the greatest force ever to be reckoned with. And like a lot of Americans have this opinion in World War II that like we did everything. The reality is that Britain and obviously the Soviet Union contributed a lot to World War II. Man, I don't love any of these items that we have. I feel like Russia was a poor choice. They seem very self-destructive. Let's put a... Why are you not advancing? Friendly infantry has +1 attack for as long as this remains on the board. This guy has to go. Problem is, no matter what we move up, they're going to be able to destroy them in one hit. And they're not going to die. 7-5, deal 1 damage to our HQ. I mean, they seem very good, but we don't have the money. Guard, units cannot be attacked except by bombers and artillery. Okay. So if we deploy this guy, yeah, and then we move him up alongside these others, he will prevent them from being attacked until he's destroyed, which will force them to sacrifice one of their units because it has a 3 attack. So it would have to attack him first. Except by what? Bombers and artillery? Yeah, we haven't seen any of those. We do have extra here. Go ahead and deploy another infantry unit. I don't know how big this line can get before it stops me. Excuse me, I was drinking some tea. Yeah, the Soviet Union, I would say, is probably the group that contributed the most to the destruction of the Axis powers, particularly against Germany. I mean, obviously against Germany, specifically. Let's kill this unit immediately. Has the guard ability. Yeah, we already learned about the guard ability. So they've pushed up, possibly realizing that we were going to do that with guard. So we want to sacrifice this guy because it will immediately put out a second unit. An order is given to one aim. No, we need to start trading up. We need to make some trades here, unfortunately. I want to kill you. No matter what we do, it's going to... It's not going to matter. Trade off here. Reduces the benefit of all other infantry units. Throw you... I don't like this unit. Throw you to death here. And what are you? You have guard. Do we trade? We're going to need to open up this back line. If we don't trade, we can push up with this unit. Do you have anything special? No, you're just guarded. Oh, it's also guard. Oh, so it says adjacent units, but it actually means units in the same line because obviously this is not adjacent to this. Interesting. What does this cog mean? Affects the game in some way while in play when orders are given. Yeah. So I have 3 remaining. Deal 3. I would like to deploy. Wow. 1-8, huh? 3 damage to your HQ to get a 5-3. Let's put you on the board and trade here. Okay. So I think we made some favorable trades, but ultimately also not really. I would like to push you up, but obviously you can't do that this turn. So we'll hold off. I mean, not that America didn't do things in World War II. I'm not saying that. I don't know why you would throw this guy to die. Troll Japanese unit. Because you wanted to draw 2 cards. Makes sense. What is this? Orders given to you 1. Yeah, we've already seen that. So we're going to throw you to your death. You've drawn a fighter, which is a fighter unit. Fighters can attack targets anywhere on the battlefield and they prevent enemy bombers from attacking other targets in the same front. So, I mean, that's what we wanted to do, but still. So this guard prevents everything but bombers and artillery. This additionally would prevent bombers. So it would be everything but artillery, which I don't think Japan had a ton of artillery. I don't actually know. I guess it depends if you're counting naval ships or not, and bombardment and whatnot. So we could get this guy on the front line this turn because he can operate. In fact, we could get him on the front line and attack with him this turn, but we would be unable to move anything else. I would like to deploy the fighter because the fighter can repeatedly hit their HQ for as long as it's on the board. So if we played that, that's a 2-cost card. We could play both of these and still move a tank up front and get a shot on their... No, we wouldn't be able. We would just be able to move into the front line. Go ahead and deploy both fighters and move you forward. And we'll see what they do here. Let's end our turn. So now we can get 6 damage on their HQ every turn. And it's going to be on them to press forward and try to... of course. Of course. Just played a card which has a destruction ability. When the card is destroyed, it will deal 2 damage to our HQ. Okay. So we're going to get rid of... It costs 2 to move you. Get rid of this. Trade our fighters. Yeah. Definitely hit them for 5. This guy's probably going to die next turn or 2. Depends what they play. We have 3 left. I don't know that I want the guard unit. Give me the basic tank here. And press forward with the guard. This will force them, even if they deploy something with Blitz, they'll have to attack this guy first because they can't attack him. So we'll get another 5 damage on their core. Okay. I mean, I'm digging the game so far. I like the art. Some of the vehicles are a little lackluster. I don't love the art of the vehicles so much. What I'm noticing as well is that the cards all have the same art. So 6th Infantry with the Fury ability, units with Fury can attack twice each turn. Yeah, you gotta go. So like, artillery, I guess. Oh no, an order. Deal 4 damage to an enemy air unit. Yeah, we would love to kill that unit before it gets to do anything. Oh yeah, so like, if I have 2 of these BT7 cards, they have the same art. I don't know if there's collectible other arts for this, like alternate arts for similar cards, but I would like a little bit more variety to the vehicles, especially because, like, looking at this, there's nothing wrong with the picture. It's perfectly fine, but it's a little lackluster. You know, I come from the world of, like, anime card games and Magic the Gathering and stuff like that, where there's a lot more stuff going on, so maybe I'm just spoiled in that regard. So, we can move and attack with the tank to take this guy out, because he can attack twice per turn, so that's 6 damage he can output. Friendly units have +1 attack. Do that first and foremost. Take him out. Trade there. It's a favorable trade for us because it had double strike essentially. We have 7 to spend. I 100% want to kill this air unit. And if we attack... Yeah, attack with both of these. Because next turn, yes, they can attack with this card, but you can't attack him because this guy has guard. And then finally, we have 4 left. We could deploy a guard. I don't see any benefit in that when we're on such an offensive kick. And I think we just... I mean, we could just destroy this as well, but I don't think it matters. So barring some crazy order that they get, we should be victory next turn. Yeah, so he's forced to attack that particular unit. And we win. So, kill him. Great. We have defeated the Japanese army. We will look at the starter deck. I didn't see any naval units. That's like the main thing that seems to be missing from this. Japan had a very strong navy. like arguably the strongest, or probably not even arguably, in World War II. So I was surprised we didn't see any ships. I kind of thought, you know, the way the game is laid out, that they would be treated as artillery and you would deploy them for bombardment and whatnot. But we haven't actually seen any of that. So that's a bit disappointing. I don't love the Russian deck either. A lot of the cards were self-damaging, which I didn't really like, but I think we'll roll forward. We probably should play Japan just to see what it's like to play, but we'll probably roll forward as the Russians. I notice I can't back out to the main menu. I would like to do that. Okay, so for now we're going to call the episode. So thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode of Cards. I will be back with at least another episode, or I don't know, 2 or 3 more episodes. I do enjoy card games very much. Seems like a solid little card game. I would like to get through the tutorial so we can look at gameplay modes, see what our unlockables are, see what the microtransactions look like, see if they're, you know, reasonable or if they're crazy or expensive or whatever. So I just was curious. This game, by the way, is, again, free to play, so you can go to Steam right now. I'm playing it through Steam. I'm sure there's probably a standalone launcher or something for it, but I'm playing through Steam. You can go right now and play this game. It's, as far as I know, a very small community. I think I had just heard someone say that it was only like several thousand people online at any given time. Obviously something much smaller than Hearthstone or Magic the Gathering, Arena, or something like that. But it's also relatively new. I believe this is a pretty recent full type release. I think they had done some stuff prior, but I don't think it's been out for very long. So hey, if you're interested in card games, if you like World War II stuff, this artwork, again, very reminiscent of World War II propaganda and artworks you would see posted around during World War II. Very cool, very interesting. I would encourage you to check it out. Plays okay, felt smooth. I'm entertained. I'm enjoying the gameplay so far. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. I'll be back with more cards in the near future, and I will see you in the next episode.